I'll throw it to you. What's going on in Kissimmee right now, and then we'll get to what would a LGBTQ plus person do in Kissimmee. You can field those
Sure.
in any order.
So if you're not familiar with Kissimmee, Kissimmee's part of the Orlando region. And one of the unique features of Kissimmee is that we have over 40,000 vacation homes that have all really been built in the last 5 years. And they've been extremely popular during the pandemic.
But those things are swank.
Yeah, so we have, a lot of them are in the 10 to 18 bedroom size. So they're great for big groups, multi-families or friends, and they can just rent. We've got a brand new one under construction. It's 35,000 square feet. It will have a top golf room. It will have a bowling alley. It will have a Turkish spa. So they have, and then they have like themed rooms, Disney and Harry Potter themed rooms and things. But they've been really popular. But I mean, we do have like the 3 to 5 bedroom as well. But most of these homes it's really unique because it's not like a one-off where somebody's just renting their home. These are specifically built for vacation rentals. They're all in, like Encore, for instance, is 800 homes, anywhere from 4 to 10 bedrooms. And they all have their own pools and they all have all their amenities, but they also have in the middle big resort complex with a concierge and a Disney desk and a restaurant, bar, a huge pool. So if you want all of the amenities of a resort, you've got them, but you've got all the convenience of a home. And like I said, these big homes are really popular.
Reality show style homes.
They're
right?
reality.
Yeah.
We've had Lady Gaga rented 2 of them next door to each other a while back. So you can, if you want, I can tell you which one is the Lady Gaga house, and you can rent the Lady Gaga house for gay days at Disney. And speaking of Disney, Disney's got big plans coming up, if you haven't heard. And there's a lot of Disney fans out there that are anticipating the 50th anniversary of Disney opening in Central Florida. That will kick off October 1st, and only Disney can have an 18-month birthday. We have a mutual friend, Ursula, and she had a birthday for like 2 weeks. It ran for 2 whole weeks, and I'm like, all right, is this birthday over yet? But Disney's going to run it for 18 months. Lots of really cool things planned, lots of exciting stuff, new things opening, not only at Disney, but at Universal. And then, of course, Kissimmee's a lot of ecotourism type activities and things, but
So something unusual today, or I should say this year at IPW. Explain the relationship and the distance between Kissimmee and Orlando, and how Disney is like in the middle of both.
So the Central Florida area is 2 counties, Orange and Osceola, and part of Disney's built in Osceola. In fact, the original entrance to Disney was in Osceola County. So part of it lies in Osceola, part of it's in Orange. But of course, it's kind of like the Tampa-St. Pete area, and a lot of people refer to, even though they're coming to St. Pete Clearwater, they're coming to Tampa because they arrive at that airport. And so, we're 20 minutes from the Orlando International Airport. But the big difference with us is that we do have this unique vacation home product that's, like I said, has been so popular during the course of the last 18 months.
And so I'm guessing, is that Reunion? Is it just Reunion, or are there others?
Oh, no, they're spread out because there's 40,000 of them. They're spread out throughout.
There's 40,000?
40,000, yes.
Homes?
Only vacation rental, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And these are owned by large companies or individuals?
No, they're individually owned, but then they're professionally managed. So there's only, like Reunion will only allow 2 management companies in there. You can't just manage your own home or anything. So they're professionally managed, professionally decorated. Like I said, we've got some with, bowling alleys, and they all have movie theaters. And we actually have a really unique job in Kissimmee. We have several of the management companies have electronic concierges, because these homes are so decked out with just all the latest electronic technology. So they let you arrive at the home and kind of get used to, get settled in, and then the electronics concierge will come by and say, do you know how to work the movie theater? Do you know how to work we've got, one of them has a massive screen, and it's a karaoke room just for karaoke and stuff. So they come by and make sure you know how to run everything and have a great time. And then we have all the any amenity you can possibly manage. We've got over 18 professional chefs that will come in for all different types of cuisine, and they'll cook for you. They'll set up a party for you, whatever. If you want a Maserati in the garage of that big 18-bedroom home, they'll arrange to have a Maserati. We have vets because we have people traveling with their dogs, and we have dog groomers that will come. And then we even have we'll do, Disney and Universal do the character breakfast, or Disney does the character breakfast. They can set up character breakfast to come into your home and have Spider-Man knock on your front door.
What would the price range be for one of those homes? Just if you have any idea.
So the really big ones go for several $1,000s a night, but if you divide that up, and some of the big ones
16.
I was in one last week that just recently opened, and it's a 15-bedroom home, but all of the bedrooms you can lock them off. So if it is just a big group of friends or something, you want privacy, you can lock the room off just like a hotel room, but you've got your whole ensuite, you've got a huge every bedroom has a walk-in closet. And then you can imagine, like, it's a great party house, because if you have 18 bedrooms, you've got to have a dining room table that seats at least 40. So, it's just massive, these homes.
And I'm guessing, it seems from the outside that these would be perfect things for people concerned about COVID, right? Did you experience drop-off? What was there a surge?
We have bed tax, which is kind of a great indicator. The bed tax charged on hotels or vacation homes and things when you check in. And during this whole past 18 months, up until last spring, the homes they were bringing in 85% of the bed tax, because that's what people wanted. They wanted to have their own kitchen where they could cook. They wanted their kids, if they had traveling with kids, they wanted their kids in their own pool. They didn't want a pool with 100 other kids in the pool and stuff. So the homes, and what's happened is we've had a lot of first-time people that have never stayed in a vacation home, and they're like, wow, we will never, this is amazing, to be able to have all the convenience of these beautiful homes. And
that's interesting that they are a destination unto themselves, right? You could go there and just really never leave the home.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But then again, like Encore, if you don't want to rent a car, Encore offers free transportation to the theme parks and the outlet malls and things like that. So you can really just stay there. They're all built on championship golf courses and things. So if that's your type of thing that
Tell them the story you told me once about the mailboxes.
Oh, like in Encore, there's nobody lives there. So there's no mailboxes, there's no school buses. All the yards and everything are professionally maintained. So you don't have you're not going to rent a house and have a house full of kids with a playground in the backyard playing all the time. You're trying to have a nice, peaceful vacation. So that's unique. And then we also have personal butlers. We had a very wealthy family that flew down, not Lady Gaga, but they flew down from New York, and they rented a 12-bedroom home. And we, unfortunately, was in the summer, and we got into one of those rainy periods in Florida where it just rained. And they had hired a butler, and it's not like Jeeves the butler like you see in the movies. The butlers are basically, nowadays the butlers they're gophers. They go do whatever you need them to do, run errands, do this, do that.
Like personal assistants.
So a personal assistant. Yeah. So they had this butler, and they called the management company, and they said, gosh, we don't want to stay here, it's raining. Can you find a similar home in the Caribbean? So they found a similar home in the Caribbean. They asked this butler, would you mind coming down with us to the Caribbean? We're going to go down there till this rain lets up in Florida. And he had a wife, and he's like, well, can I bring my wife? And they're like, sure, we've got room on the private jet. So they took the dogs and the butler. They flew to the Caribbean. The wife had a fabulous vacation in the Caribbean. Every day they'd call and say, is it still raining? Yes, it's still raining. Okay. Third day, is it still raining? Nope, the rain's cleared. Okay, we'll be back up this afternoon. And they came back in that afternoon and continued the next 10 days in Kissimmee in this home. So
that's awesome.
We've had all kinds of stories, and they can, they can stock the kitchens for you and the liquor cabinet, whatever you need. They've got it. And like I said, for groups or like a group of friends, it's amazing because you've got these amazing pools and fire pits in the back and the movie theaters and the game rooms, and it's a great time.
And I suppose you do get LGBTQ plus groups in these homes.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. Especially like for Disney gay days and things, a whole group can, and it's really economical when if you divide, you have a 15-bedroom home and you've got 12 couples. I mean, I don't know, like you probably wouldn't want 15 couples in the 15-bedroom home because a couple of the bedrooms are like Harry Potter bunk beds and things like that, but if that's your thing, go for it. But, but when you divide
Could be a fetish weekend.
When you divide that up by 15 couples, the rent on that home every night, it's not bad at all.
That would be that.
And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds.
We've done birthdays and all kinds of stuff in some of these homes.
What are the other offerings in Kissimmee? But if a gay group comes there, what are they to do?
Well, and like I said, we've obviously got the theme parks, but we also have a ton of really cool outdoor activity type things that have been really popular during COVID as well. We're actually, if you look at a map of Florida, and we're up here in the central middle part of the state, we're actually the headwaters of the Everglades. That's where the water starts in Shingle Creek that flows all the way down south to the Everglades. So we have amazing kayaking experiences. I always say we have the best of both worlds because you can be kayaking or ziplining amongst, several 100-year-old cypress trees. And then the next, in 20 minutes from there, you could be, in the shadows of one of the most famous castles in the world at Disney. So we kind of have, all of the phenomenal things that we've created, these theme parks and these attractions, but we have amazing things that Mother Nature has created too, with the airboating, going out on, Cypress Lake and seeing. This is kind of an interesting fact. We have more American bald eagles in Kissimmee than anywhere else in the lower 48. The only state that has more, or area that has more than we do, is Alaska. And so, like, I was on an airboat with a group a while back, and we saw 8 pair of nesting bald eagles in 1 hour boat trip. So there's
within
just some
spitting
incredible
distance of Disney, right? Within spitting distance of Disney.
Yeah,
it's the same
and these were not animatronic. These were the real thing.
Okay.
So there's great zip line. You can zip line over alligator pits and all that kind of stuff as well.
So Disney has gay days. 2 questions on there. One is this an official function of Disney, or is this just something they kind of put up with? And are there other theme parks that have similar things to gay days?
Yeah, there's other things similar to Disney, and Disney. It really started. It wasn't an official event or anything. It just kind of started and caught on. But now, during that time period, you can go in and they've got the rainbow Mickey ears for sale and all kinds of stuff. So they really are catering to the gay days now, and it's become this huge event now, actually.
It's a whole week, isn't it, or a weekend?
Yeah, it runs for
So you're at IPW this year, and you and Orlando are doing an event together, correct?
So please come by Wednesday. Oh, the other thing I want to mention is that this summer was really special. This summer, President Biden signed into law that the Pulse nightclub will be an official monument, national monument, and I'm getting goosebumps just saying that. But the museum's underway, and Ricky Martin's the official spokesperson for the Pulse Foundation and things. So
we had Barbara Poma last year here.
Yeah.
She's great.
She's incredible. So we're going to be hosting IPW in Central Florida next year. You probably heard. And we're really looking forward to also hosting this conference and the e-commerce and everything. And I'm working with Barbara's team to maybe do some special things while everyone's in Orlando around Pulse next year. I think it's really important for us to do that. And so this Wednesday, while there's really no big, huge evening events, we will be hosting a 2-hour cocktail reception immediately following the IPW appointments Wednesday evening. They're just going to open the doors from the lunchroom, and we brought this amazing band from Orlando, Cece and her 10-piece band, and she performs in Dr. Phillips Performing Arts Center in Orlando a lot and sells out. She does her tribute to Aretha Franklin, and she's just, it's mind-boggling. She's so amazing. So she could have starred instead of Jennifer Hudson in the movie, I think. But anyway, so we're going to have some fun Wednesday night. We hope you can join us there. And then, like I said, we're really planning some special things while everyone is in Orlando and Kissimmee next June for the IPW around Pulse and things. We want to make sure that everyone's aware of Pulse and what happened there, but also what's happening, and it's amazing the worldwide support for the foundation and for the construction of the museum and the.
That's called One Pulse, right? Her foundation,
yeah,
One Pulse, yeah.
Yeah.
And that is, I mean, her resilience and her story. If you haven't seen it, look it up. The video from our conversation is still online last year. Talk us through, like, how do I know, and I'll let you take it from here because it's your area of expertise. But I know that families with children kind of age out of Disney and then they go to the other parks. And do you ever market that granularly as putting a park with a very specific age group? Would you leave that to the parks? Because it seems like there's some real powerhouses. Disney on its own, or Universal on its own, seems to have their own advertising marketing machine going on. How does that work from the destination side?
All right. Well, first, I can tell you're not from Central Florida because you never age out of Disney. If you're talking to Disney, you never age out of Disney.
I stand corrected.
All right.
Yes.
Because you go from Disney, from Magic Kingdom, you go to Star Wars, you go from Harry Potter. So you work up the chain. But yes, I mean there are certain things that are catered to younger audiences and things. The other thing that's really popular is gay families traveling on the Disney cruises and spending a few days in the Central Florida area and then combining it with one of the Disney cruises. That's become very popular as well. And then we have fabulous shopping, actually, outlet shopping. I mean, we've got, you go to the Vineland Premiums and you've got Gucci and you've got Versace and these are outlet prices. They're not the Gucci prices and the Versace prices. They're the outlet prices. And it's brand new. A lot of times it's brand new things that they're bringing in just to these special outlets in Central Florida. So great shopping as well.
What's next? What's going on? Is there anything? Because I know all the parks, that entire region it regenerates itself all the time because it has to somehow make people want to come back, as you say, and keep current. Anything on the horizon that we should?
There's a lot of new things planned at the parks. A lot of new attractions that they're kind of totally redesigning Epcot because Epcot when it was built it was like space age state of the art kind of things going on. So they're kind of redoing all of that in Epcot, and Universal's got some new things planned and the new rides that they've got planned. And then a lot of new restaurants opening. Central Florida in the past was not known as a culinary destination, but we've really seen a rise in that. There's more.
Large part thanks to Epcot and Disney, right?
Yeah, there's more James Beard restaurants in Disney Springs than anywhere else in the world. I think they're up to 7 or 8 now, in the Disney Springs area. So the culinary, we've seen a lot of additions in culinary. The other really cool thing that's going to happen is November 19th, Cirque Du Soleil, which we're in kind of Cirque's second town behind Montreal. But Cirque Du Soleil, if you're familiar, they had a big custom-made theater. It was at downtown Disney, now it's called Disney Springs. And that's been sitting empty. They had shut the show down pre-pandemic purposely because they were opening a new show, and then the pandemic hit, so they kind of shut everything down. So this new show will open November 19th at Cirque. It's a permanent show there, but it will be one of the most unique Cirque shows ever done. It's telling the history of Disney animation in only the way that Cirque can do it. So It's going to be a truly unique experience, and it's right there on Disney's doorstep, and it's going to tell the whole history and how this whole thing started.
What was the Cirque show that played there for years before?
Nobu.
Yeah, Nobu, right, yeah.
Nobu? Was that? Yeah.
So it'll be in the same place, right?
It's in the same theater, but it's just totally, they've redesigned the theater, and this we haven't seen any parts of it yet. It's totally under wraps, but the Cirque people are telling us it's like nothing that Cirque's ever done before. So awesome. That'll open, and then that'll be permanently running from November 19th on.
What is your what is your connection to LGBTQ plus marketing from Kissimmee perspective? Do you do any niche marketing specifically for that group? Do you have any collateral materials? What is your foot in the door there?
So we don't market, we don't market specifically, but we do market through. I was just on a site inspection with a group that wanted to take over one of our hotels next spring during gay days, but it would be a big bear convention. They take over the whole convention space at the hotel and basically take over the whole place. And we've got a really unique incentive package that's for groups and things, monetary incentives. So they're very interested in bringing that group to this hotel because the incentive program will basically put a dollar amount into their master account that will help cover expenses for the 4-day or 3-day that they're going to be at the resort. So we market gay days, we market the big homes for groups, for LGBTQ groups and things, and so that's been really popular.
So it's more how the destination really fits in with plans that way. Are there any numbers on gay days and the number of estimated number of folks who show up for that?
I think there are, but I don't have that off the top of my head, actually.
Because that's huge. How many here have ever been to gay days in Orlando?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a very big deal. But I asked that question because we're in the LGBTQ plus marketing space here, and you guys have sponsored this, I think, a couple of times, and thank you for that. I think when Roger comes in, we'll just have him join the stage here, if that's cool. Sherry, are we cool with that? Yeah, jump whenever. Certainly.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Yeah, start checking out those vacation homes. Jeeves Vacation Homes. They handle most of the really big, unique ones. Jeeves, like the Butler.
Nice plug. June 4th and 5th in Central Florida. Please get your vacation home right now. There's only 40,000, so get while the getting's good. So how has tourism been the last couple of years? Can you just give us a thumbnail of up down? What's the
tourism? Central Florida was having the best years ever pre-pandemic. I mean, breaking every record, and just vacation homes coming out of the ground, resorts coming out of the ground, restaurants and attractions was booming. And then, of course, we all know what happened. But like I said, we've maintained throughout. If you would have ever told me in my wildest dreams that Disney and Universal would be shutting down for any length of, they only shut down, I think, for 24 or 48 hours after 9/11.
Right.
So that was no one in their right mind could have ever believed that would happen. But we maintained, and we did all right through the whole thing. And now the vacation homes. It's funny, the vacation homes that are under construction now, I think we've got about 4,000 of them permitted right now coming out of the ground. So now they've all shifted because these are all custom built for just rentals. So they're all building usually 2 little mini offices where people can do their Zoom calls from the vacation home. Wow. in a nice, with some nice background with a book. You don't have to put your own background in there. So you can really literally work from any of these vacation homes, and they've got all the technology and everything that you need. So
like a bowling alley and a Zoom room.
Exactly.
In that vacation home. What would be, and again, I'm just curious as to that number, annual visitation to Kissimmee versus Orlando. Do you guys parse it that specifically?
Kissimmee, we get about 10 million overnight visitors a year in Kissimmee, and Orlando is 5 times that, I think. But things are coming back. Things are coming back and bouncing back. Convention business is looking good for 2022. Because Orlando's really reliable on the big wide city conventions.
Right.
At the convention center, so 2022 is booked up really solid already for that. So things are definitely on the rebound. We really, our biggest thing is, 18% of our customers in Central Florida are international.
International, sure.
And so we're just really waiting for that to, and who knows when some of those countries are going to be coming back. Brazil was really vying, but pre-pandemic it was up and down between Brazil and the UK as our number one for Central Florida, number one long haul destination. The Brazilians were really giving the Brits a run for their money. So, we're going to have to see where that all pans out post-pandemic and as we get through this.
And when you get in, I know you're big in international air service development too, and you had some big announcements just before all the pandemic hit, didn't you, with some of the Mideast carriers?
Yeah, everybody's coming back. Emirates will be coming back, and Virgin's coming. All of the major carriers, all the international carriers that we had into Orlando have all made commitments coming back, and some of them are actually adding additional destinations that they're going to be flying from into Orlando and things. So things are looking positive, things are looking good, and of course domestic air, the airport, you wouldn't know if there was anything going on. It's just crazy at Orlando International, and they'll actually be here this week for IPW as well, Orlando International. But yeah, air service is domestic is back, that's for sure.
What about the Latin America? Do you segment your marketing toward different countries separately, or is it just all international in one bucket?
No, we have. So we talk to all of the Spanish-speaking Latin America. We've got several different offices. So we have an office in Colombia, we have an office in Mexico. We've got some people down in Argentina and in Peru. So we don't treat them all the same. And then of course Brazil is its own entity down there. And then we've been getting tremendous visitation from Mexico. It never really shut down completely. So Mexico's been coming on really strong. And then through Panama, Copa Airlines connects through to all of Latin America. And so the Copa flights have been coming in full, and they've added additional Copa flights because everything connects through Panama City, Panama. So Copa's added some additional lift in, and then the low cost, like Spirit flies to Lima, Peru, and they fly. They're really opening up South America.
Wow, I know that.
So Spirit's adding additional flights, JetBlue's into Colombia. So we've got great lift out of most of the Central American and South American countries except for Brazil right now.
China, I know, has been like the golden ring for a long time. Everyone's been going after China. It seems like a market that never really truly materialized to its promise yet. And of course,
not for Florida.
It doesn't, right? Not for Florida. Why do you think we still don't have a direct flight between China and Florida? Correct?
No, it's an awful long flight. There's only two aircraft that can do the flight. And pre-pandemic, the situation was the Chinese government only allowed so many slots to fly out of China to the U.S., and all those slots were taken. So for us to get a flight, it was a matter of one of those slots not working, one of those flights not working, so they could shut that flight down and reallocate it to Orlando. So we're still hopeful, and hopeful that when we get through all of this and Asia starts to open back up, that we'll be seeing a flight from China coming in soon.
Is it your experience or your research that the Chinese traveler really, particularly when it comes to America, likes the legacy cities, the culturals, the San Franciscos, the Chicago, New York, and that because there are theme parks in Asia that Florida is not as attractive, or their beaches are closer? Do you think that plays into it, or is just a logistical thing for now? No,
it's the theme parks really are, the theme parks that are built overseas, like Shanghai Disney and things, those are really to get the Chinese a taste of what Disney really is, and then to really entice them to come, that they need to come to like Orlando where everything is.
So those are gateway drugs to
those are drivers to have them, to
entice
them to come to the big theme parks, the main theme parks in Orlando. So, and of course, we were seeing a dramatic rise in Chinese visitation and Asian visitation before the pandemic. So we're hopeful that that's going to return. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, they love the shopping, and the shopping's fantastic, the outlet shopping and things. So.
And do you have reps in Asia for
Yes.
Kissimmee? Okay.
Yeah, we have 9 different countries that we have reps in, and we kept them all on board throughout the pandemic. So we're kind of we've ramped up Canada, we've ramped up Mexico, we've ramped up Colombia, and then we're starting to ramp up the UK and Central Europe now.
Do you share any representation with Orlando, or are you guys always doing
We're talking about that now. So we're talking
Interesting.
about some of that, and we're working really close with Orlando. We're co-sponsoring with Visit Florida the reception Wednesday night, and then we'll be a big part of the planning in 2022 for IPW and for this conference as well. So
Awesome. Sure. Do we have a T- on RD? Is Sherry in the room?
I don't see it.
Okay. Okay, Will's going to chase that. Do we have any questions for Kissimmee?
Yeah, I mean, and that's one, that Bear Week is one example of, we've got a lot of different groups that are coming in that we're working with, not just that one single Bear Week. That was just one example. But yes, we've been really, before the pandemic, we were really ramping up our efforts in this market and had got a lot of new photography and a lot of new B-roll and things like that. And so with budget cuts and things during the pandemic, we've had to kind of go back to, we were really starting to focus on that market and reach out into that market a lot. But then with the budget cuts, our budget was cut by 50% last year. And so we've had to come back into, really focusing in on, well, we really shifted everything because 85% of our clients were coming from within the state of Florida during the pandemic. So we really had to shift down from, heavy marketing east of the Mississippi across the country. Just for our core markets, we had to just come back in and budget cuts and everything, and then markets primarily within the state of Florida. So now that budgets are bouncing back and I had my team, when we created our budgets last spring for next year, create wish list. And because we've had such a tremendous surge of visitation for spring and summer, we've been able to, my team had a $5 million wish list of marketing things. And some of the things on these wish lists were for some of these other markets, not just the core market. And so we've been able to, with the strength of the tourism coming in this summer, we've been able to pretty much mark off all of the things on our wish list. So you will see us getting back into the LGBTQ plus market a lot bigger than we were even pre-pandemic. But the Bear, it's not a convention, it's a party basically, but that was just one example of one thing where we're able, with groups where we're able to use these incentive dollars to bring group market in.
Sure.
We don't have specifically for Kissimmee, and I don't know if Orlando does or not. They may for Orlando, but we've got a brand new director of research. He's like a major whiz guy. He's Dutch, and I'll say, I need some stats, and I need them within 3 days, and within an hour he'll have them. So that's one area where we're going to start trying to track and things.
And that's difficult to track.
It's very difficult to track because, it's very difficult to track because the bookings are coming in. So many of the home bookings are coming in online. We don't know who's booking these homes, who's coming, who's staying, So it is a very difficult thing to track, but we will definitely look at that in the future.
Well, we want to thank DT Minich and Experience Kissimmee for being a sponsor of Thrive. Please give it up for DT. Thank you so much.